Welcome into Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald
Abernathy, and we appreciate Coach Ab taking time for us each and every week here as we continue to move through this season, and it has been a great season so far, Coach. Let's start with junior high basketball. We had Coach Vonner in here last week, and really just a promising team. Didn't end the way we wanted it to. One game short of going to a state championship, and you were there. I saw you there in the stands. Right. What was your take on that final game? I mean, they had won 3 games in that sectional.
Yeah, they sure had.
Got to a good team, Fayette West.
Yes, they did. But they did a tremendous job. And, of course, anytime you're playing in a game of that caliber and the intensity and the championship fever, the championship atmosphere, unfortunately, one team has to lose.
That's right.
I thought, our kids did a very, very good job. But that particular night, Fayette was better.
Yeah, and I noticed you came down on the court because there were some kids. It was their last game as an 8th grader, and I noticed you taking time one-on-one with those students.
Right.
Obviously, that's not the first time they've seen you, and I loved how Coach Vonner put it on social media. This is not just a basketball team. This is a program.
And it is. It is. Contrary, people and fans say and do some crazy things, but a lot goes into us being successful.
Right.
You can't be as successful as we have been without having a relationship with our players.
Yes, sir.
And the reason we are able to achieve and the reason that we're able to win and the reason we're able to be in the contest every game is because of our relationship with the players and the character that we try to build within them. Now, I have to admit, we have a lot of problems with parents outside, people outside saying and doing things, but it's difficult, and we try to formulate and build a relationship with our players where they trust us and not listen to outside sources. And of course, with social media now, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And of course, I don't allow our players to be on social media. I don't allow them to answer anyone who says something, because most of the time it's something stupid or something crazy, something unresearched that they make a comment about. So we don't allow our players to answer social media requests, but we do formulate a relationship with our kids, and I know that our kids they look up to me, and I want our program to be about peace and joy and right relationship and right communication, because from where I come from, my pedigree, my experience, all my coaches stressed right relationship between the players and the coaches, which is the only way that you can accomplish goals beyond the normal.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go out and play a basketball game and maybe win 1 or 2, but to be consistent, to be victorious the majority of the times, you have to have a right relationship with your players.
Right.
And I thrive off of that.
Sure.
I thrive, and my coaches thrive on making sure that we have a right relationship and right communication with our players, no matter what's said on the outside or what's done. Our program is built on relationship and communication and love and peace and joy.
Sure. Well, Coach, how do you bridge that gap? Not everybody that plays junior high ball moves to the high school level. You will have a few, I'm sure, on this team that you can expect as freshmen next year to be in that freshman league. I know this year, I think Coach said we didn't have enough really freshmen to go on in the tournament action this year.
Right.
How do you ensure that the right kids are ready to move on and come on up to the high school program? Is there an exit interview? Do they have to come back and retry out? How does that work?
Yeah, well, we pretty much know. We pretty much know and talk and communicate about the players and how they're doing during the course of the year, their progress. We pretty much know who's going to move up, and we pretty much know who's going to move on. And we know as coaches, we evaluate them.
Yeah.
And those, it's difficult. It's junior high basketball and varsity basketball at Humboldt are 2 different let me see how I can say this, 2 different entities,
Okay.
but all in the same program.
Gotcha.
Junior high basketball is just what it is, junior high. When you move to the varsity level, it's a total different ball game.
Okay.
Intensity, responsibility, accountability becomes a lot more stringent than it does on the junior high level.
You really have to mature when you move to that next level.
Well, you do, and one of the biggest things that I've seen that happens with the junior high making the transition to high school is responsibility.
Okay.
Is accountability. You in junior high, you miss a practice for this reason, you miss a practice for that reason. You can't come for this, you can't come for that. But when you get to high school, that's a no-no. You're not gonna miss practice.
Yeah.
In our high school program.
Okay.
We have rules such as if you miss practice the day before the game, you will not play.
Yeah.
Because we prep and we prepare. So if you miss the day before the game, you have no way of knowing what the game plan is and what we're going to do for the game. Contrary to some people, who say, well, what's the game plan? Well, when they make a statement like, what's the game plan, they have no clue.
Sure.
They have no clue what we've gone into and the prep we've gone into. So when they move from junior high to high school, responsibility and accountability becomes much, much bigger than what is expected when you're a junior high player.
And you're preparing them even for the next level because, you get to make it – if you get to play in college, it's the same way.
On a more stringent level.
Yeah.
Okay, so, our program has been about championship, been about winning. And in order to do that, that means you're going to class. That means you're being respectful. All those things come into play when you move to varsity basketball at Humboldt.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what other people do, but I do know what we require as a basketball player at Humboldt from the coaches and from the players. And the players that you see survive and play, they meet those standards.
Do you expect them now that they're not playing to come and go ahead and start watching high school basketball now that their season's done?
As a matter of fact, they do. That's another gauge.
Yes.
We got a couple of junior high kids who are coming to varsity basketball practice.
Oh, okay.
That kind of gives you an indication of how bad they want it, or them looking forward going to the next level. We already have something doing that now.
That's good. That's good. I wondered about that. So we've talked to junior high, and sadly their season has ended. Junior high girls is done. Now we're focusing on high school. And last week you went into Bradford, and it was a high-stakes game.
Right.
You win that game, you pretty much feel like you've got the district.
Right.
And you go in there. Now, it looks like an exciting game. I hate I was not able to be there, but a 55-51 game. Why don't you walk us through that? Because it got tight there at the end.
Well, it did. And, of course, as they say, the advantage always goes to the home team. And they had a very, 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 very reputable advantage of being at home.
Okay.
And basically we knew it was going to be a tough game, and Bradford, like I said earlier, when we beat them, by a large margin last time, they had a pretty good team.
Yes.
We just happened to play well.
And you were the home team.
And we were the home team. So which makes a difference. And anybody who's been in the game knows that there is a difference between home and away and neutral.
Yes.
Okay, and the toughest thing you can do is to go to somebody else's place to play, whether they're
truth.
first or whether they're last.
Yeah.
Going to, and especially with the good programs. Bradford's coach has done a good job. They have a good program. So you're just not going to walk in Bradford and just beat them and, take for granted that you're just going to do that.
Yeah.
Just like you ain't going to take for granted you're going to walk into Humboldt and win a game. So, Bradford's that kind of program where, you have to be in tune and you have to be ready. You have to be focused when you go in there to play them, because that atmosphere is conducive to making you do things that you don't normally do, or situations and circumstances coming up that you don't normally have to deal with at home or on a neutral court.
So what do you think played into, for this team to only score 55 points? That don't happen very often.
No.
You've been above that a lot. So I'm looking at, players that normally been having 20 or more. Kendrick Taylor only had 13.
Right.
And I think he was the lead scorer in that game.
Right.
What plays into that?
Well, Bradford's tendency to try to slow the game down, and you have to be a little bit more disciplined.
Okay.
Be a little bit more focused, a little bit more tuned in. I did think that the officials really, again, we have a problem with the officials, but that's something that I don't complain about.
Sure.
But I thought the officials kept them in the game, kept it close.
Gotcha.
By some of the crucial calls that they made at crucial times. And, of course, the biggest thing for us is to keep our players tuned in and keep them focused and not get caught up in what the referees are calling and adjust to what they're doing.
Yes.
And adjust to the way they're calling so that we can come out with a victory.
Then you moved back to another home game. Before you do that, let me say this. We've been talking about that free throw percentage. You was at 78% at Bradford.
Right.
That's how you pull those close games out on the road. I mean,
which is what I had been talking about,
yes,
is improving that free throw percentage, and that is how you win on the road.
I mean, I look at that, and I think that's the first time we've been that close to 80% in at least 3 weeks.
Exactly. We did hit those free throws that kept us in the game and allowed us to win it.
Now, came back home, and the free throws were not near as good. So, But, that happens. I think we were at like 40% at West Carroll, or when West Carroll came here. But in that game, you didn't really need those free throws, as you had some pretty good scoring just all across the board. Again, Darian Taylor, 15 points, Kendrick Taylor, 14 points. Those two guys really carried it. And then you had, Jacavius Graves came in and scored 13 points in that game, which is from the bench again. You've been seeing a lot of that.
Right.
Kids coming in, and gaining that crucial experience. I know people see these final scores, and if they don't go to the games, they don't understand. But, you're deep.
Right.
This team is so deep.
Right.
You come back into town and you take care of business. I mean, you defeat West Carroll 85-24. It was not quite as bad as when it was on the road there at their house, but just continuing to play Humboldt basketball. I mean, I look at this. You've got a game tonight at 7:30, and really, we were talking about this off air. You're trying to find something where this game means something to you because you've won the district at this point. You've got the bye.
Right.
And we're going to talk more about that after the break as far as what does that look like for us. But how do you keep this team motivated? Do you have some things that you're putting out there? This is what we're playing for?
Right. Oh, naturally. Of course, I've been in this a little while.
Sure.
And so I've been, probably in most situations and circumstances that will come up, I've been through them.
Yeah.
And from experience purposes, you say things or do things that will try to keep them motivated.
Sure.
So that they're not in tune with the fact that, we're not playing for anything tonight. It don't mean anything. We're just asking now to be special.
Yeah.
Asking my team to play above and beyond what we would normally do. And then we pride them and pro them to do that. To just basically be able to just play without regard to who the opponent is.
Yeah.
Play Humboldt
Do
basketball.
you use senior night as a motivator tonight?
No. Lord, no.
Okay.
Because all kinds of things happen. And,
Yeah.
we have senior situations, where we have 7 seniors.
Right.
Okay. And so we approach it the same way.
Okay.
Hopefully the seniors get to play a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we approach it the same way we would in a normal game.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, the biggest thing is right now we're preaching about making a statement.
Yes.
Make a statement. Okay, don't let your statement be negative.
Right.
Make a positive statement about where we're headed and where we want to go.
With it being senior night tonight, I will mention those seniors. You've got Kendrick Taylor, Elijah Moore, Jeffrey Patterson, Keziah Curry, Cavante Wedley, Jaden Coleman. Let's see, Tobias Bell. I've seen Tobias. It seems like, I know it's not our go-to right now because of how this team is built, but I have noticed him getting a little bit more action down in the paint lately.
Right, and we're trying to get him to be a lot more aggressive.
Yeah.
Down in the paint, because on our offense, he kind of stands and hides a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we want to try to get the ball to him so that can add to our game by being able to go inside to him.
So that's not really a coach's call as much as you need him to step up.
Yeah, need him to step up. Need him to step into and need him to be more aggressive as far as wanting to get the ball so that we can go inside to him.
Sure. It seems like he's coming to his own in the
Yeah,
big
he
time.
has. He has.
And
He has.
so that's exciting. So tonight we play with Middleton. And, at the beginning of this season, this was a game, Coach, and I remember when we were preparing for you to go to Middleton.
Right.
Everybody had this game circled thinking this is going to be playing for the district.
Right.
Like
right.
this could come down to this game.
Right, right.
I know you don't like that a game don't mean anything, but at the same time, the other side of that is you can be a little more relaxed yourself tonight.
Yeah, because we did expect it. We kind of expected for our district to come down to tonight's game, and the key for us was the fact that it was going to be at home.
Yeah.
We kind of knew we were going to be good, but we kind of expected for it to come down to this game tonight. But of course, that's not the case now. We already won it. We've already got number 1 seed. We've already won the district regular season title. So it'll be a little different. So a key again is motivating them to not play against Middleton, but play Humboldt basketball.
When we come back after the break, we're going to talk about what happens after tonight. I know you've got a meal at Brooksy's Barn, and you're going to find out what all that looks like.
Right.
And the district tournament is coming up. West Carroll is where you will play your next game. We don't know who we're facing yet, as there's some games that will have to be played before that. But getting that number 1 seed and getting the bye is very key. And it's kind of – I think you've had that number 1 seed more than not in your tenure here.
Oh, we have. It's amazingly said we have. More than less. We've had the number 1 seed quite a few times.
That's awesome. We'll talk more about that here after this break. You're watching Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy. Welcome back into Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy of the Humboldt Vikings boys varsity team, and they are playing tonight. But we're going to look beyond tonight just a little bit and ask Coach. We're not going to tell the players we've done this because we try to get them focused on one game at a time. But as for you, the fans, we need you to know tonight's your last home game. Right. I mean, and that's the thing. We need you here. Enjoy that last home game. The district tournament's going to be played at West Carroll. Now, what you find out in your meeting at Brooksy's Barn coming up, do you find the dates out, or is it more?
No, we find everything out. All the voting,
okay.
The players, the voting, all tournament team, all district regular season, where we'll play, the times we'll play, who will play.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Because Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, everything should be over with.
Yes.
By the time we get to Wednesday.
And we're guessing it'll be next week before you would play again.
Yeah, this year, early next week. So either it's going to be Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
Tuesday or Thursday.
Okay, so we'll keep you updated here. We'll have another show that we can actually break all that down
Right.
after you have that meeting, because we'll be back here again next Monday night. With junior high basketball being done, we don't have any conflict of interest there as far as having to stream a game or go cover anything in Smyrna. But when you look at this and you see the district tournaments in West Carroll, and then you really want to perform well there, because let's walk people through. You still have district, you still have sectional.
No, we still have district, then regional.
Regional, okay.
Then sub-state.
Then sub-state. That's what I was thinking about. Okay. And then you would go to Murfreesboro.
Right.
Is there, I know, again, you're having to be very careful about how much you scout beyond one game at a time, but is there a team that you're looking at that would say, there's a good chance if we can keep this roll going that we're going to get to play them, and it's a team that you've been watching for a while?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really. Not where we are in the position that we're in now. Again,
Okay.
our major focus is making sure we do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And we feel that if we do what we're supposed to do, we'll be all right.
With your coaching staff the way it is, at what point do you tell your coaches, start watching these other teams?
Well, believe it or not, our coaches have already been doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a great coaching staff.
Oh, yes.
And again, I couldn't do it without them. We couldn't do it without them. We wouldn't be as successful without them. They've pretty much already been doing that already.
Yeah.
And, of course, on Tuesday, we will probably give our players off because we've been really struggling. We'll lift weights and everything, and on Tuesday, then they will go out on Tuesday to the other region into Memphis to look at some of those games and some of the possible teams that we'll play, and they'll do that on Tuesday.
So not just watching film, but actually going in person.
Yeah, they would actually. They will actually. Coach Butler and I believe Coach Vanna will actually do that. Go look at the teams on Tuesday night in Memphis play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. We've talked a little bit about this before, and with the 7 seniors that you have, and obviously things are different now with the transfer portal and all of those things in college basketball. How do you approach that with your players? You don't want to down any interest to play at the next level, but you got to keep their expectations,
Right.
Very few kids, and you've said this, and I'll let you kind of explain more here in a minute, but you've said, very few kids go from high school and they start playing in college.
Right. Well, the landscape has changed.
Yes.
The landscape of going to college, particularly with basketball, has changed. With the transfer portal, with transferring, not having to sit out, what that transfer portal has created is a need for the more experienced older players.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the players that are in their 5th and 6th years, and I've seen lately some players who've been in college for 7 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that would you rather have a kid with 6 years of experience or a high school freshman?
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
And that's basically where we are.
Yeah.
So what has happened is the colleges are not looking. The 4-year universities are not looking at high school freshmen as much as they were in the past. Not saying it wouldn't happen, but you have to be a phenomenal player in order to get a 4-year scholarship and go play somewhere to a 4-year school now, because now they basically are looking for the 5th and 6th year players, which makes up a majority of the rosters. If you listen to college basketball now, and it's so funny, as I listened this weekend, I listened to a lot and looked at a lot of college basketball, the amount of players that they're talking about, this is their 6th year. And it's like, wow, you have some teams that got 3 or 4 5th or 6th year players.
Right.
So what has happened now is basically, if you're an athlete, now your best bet, in my opinion, is to go to junior college if you want to play.
Okay.
And that's kind of where everything is being funneled to. The junior colleges have taken on a different role, a bigger role, and now you got the junior colleges fighting for the high school players.
So, I mean, your bigger schools, then they start picking off the junior college rosters.
Yeah, because again, you get a junior college kid who's already played 2 years, and he's going to be more experienced, so he's going to be a 3rd or 4th year player, coming in, and I believe they're going to change that rule even, that the junior colleges won't count anymore as far as eligibility. Wow. So I believe that they're trying to institute a rule now where you can go to play 2 years in junior college, but still have 4 years of Division I basketball left.
Wow.
Right.
Goodness gracious. Almost making a career out of college basketball.
Yeah. And I believe that's going to pass.
Wow.
From all the surveys and so forth, I believe that's going to pass.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So it kind of changes your advice and your approach as a coach, because, you've got some good players.
Oh, it does. And there's nothing wrong. Our last big class of R.J. Abernathy,
Anthony Jones,
Trey Ward,
yeah,
all went to off that team, 2019 runner-up team, all went to junior college and all played.
Yeah.
And of course, R.J. went on to 4-year school, and Trey Ward went on to a 4-year school, and Anthony went on to a 4-year school.
Yeah.
From junior college.
Okay.
And kind of started in that year.
Yeah.
That trend started in that year, and then a lot of the players that were good went to Walter State, went to Jackson State. Kind of that pattern took place.
And, basketball is being more affected by it, I think, than any other sport, because you only have 5 kids on the court at a time.
Right.
And, like we've just had Stephon Shivers, who transferred out, went to, Christian school. Now he's at the Florida Gators, but you don't know that he's going to start. But at the same time, that transfer portal – it's having an effect in that sport as well.
A major effect,
And so, the days of, I guess, just a kid signing to a 4-year school in your public library or your school library, those days are almost over.
I think they are. I think they are, because pretty much, like I said, the colleges are not looking for the high school freshmen. They want experience.
Yeah.
They want that 5th and 6th year player. Wow. I was amazed this weekend. This weekend particularly.
Yeah.
I watch basketball a lot, and just the amount of 6 year, the word 6th year came up a lot. He's a 6th year player. He's a 6th year player. He's a transfer in the portal. Yeah. It came up a lot. That's like, wow. That's amazing.
And the more they do stuff like that, it'll be harder for the kids to come out of high school ready.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
The college game obviously it's different than the high school game, and you got to learn it. You got to figure that part out. No, that's amazing. I just kind of wanted to get into that conversation too, because with as many seniors as you have, I'm sure there will be some signing days.
Yes,
that are coming.
That will be. That should be.
And we'll try to cover those live here on Viking News On Demand as they happen. And we did that for RJ. We did it for Anthony. We did it for
Trey Ward.
Trey Ward. That's right. So we want to make sure that we cover those things here on Viking News On Demand, staying true to the reason that we were all created here. Coach, I know it's been a busy couple of weeks. You've got a game again tonight, and then we look to district tournament. And now that bye, it puts you straight into, is that the quarterfinals? Semifinals. Okay, so it puts you in the semifinals.
Yes.
So you would only play 2 district games then.
Right. They're only playing the semifinal game and the championship game.
All right. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time for us again today, and we'll be back in here next week, and we'll know who we're playing.
Right. We will.
By that point, I believe.
Yes, our actual district regional meeting will be on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then that'll give them a chance to play one of those games on Friday to maybe advance somebody out. And
I believe for the boy, well, the girls will probably play. I think the girls will play first.
Okay.
And then the boys will play the day after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, we'll know more next Monday, and we'll bring that to you right here on Inside Humboldt Basketball with head coach Ronald Abernathy. And thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Seth.